Okay, so now we're gonna take a walk down here on Main Street. We'll take a walk up and look at the shops. Then I'll walk back to the building. Building over there got a bunch of stuff on it. And back there, you see a hill going up. That is where the women's college used to be, Salado Women's College. And we'll go up there in a minute too. We'll drive up there. So, and here we have historic site number 6 and number 5. Not sure what they are, but we'll find out. Home and decor. And some of y'all might recognize some of these places or the names of some of these places, like the Grace Jones Gallery. Okay, yeah, the same Grace Jones. Back that way is the old Stagecoach Inn. They've redone a lot of it, so it's not all that interesting anymore, except for the register. So, and let's go across the street here. Look at these historical markers. This is Main Street. That's going south. That's going north. Built in 1922. Bureau of Public Roadway, State Highway in Bell County. Historic Salado Site 16. Main Street bridges. A number of bridges have been built over Salido Creek on Main Street since 1870. Okay, I'll let y'all pause this if you want to read it. Just pause it and you can read that. This tells you about Salado, established in 1859. Okay, and you can read that one. And then Salido Creek. Gushing limestone springs, abundant fish, flowers, and trees have long made the banks of Salido Creek a good home site. Indians camped beside stream. Spanish explorers named it. The first Anglo-American settler was Archibald Willingham, 1851. College and town of Salado were built on creek, 1860. Stream once had 8 mills, thus was County Industrial Center. Chisholm Cattle Trail crossed it, as did Dallas San Antonio stage line. The 35-mile creek is one of many which rise at the Balcones Fault, an outstanding North American region of springs. There. So it's a little park by the creek. And over there, you can see the mermaid down there, the little Indian maiden. And there's a story behind that too. And if y'all want to look it up, Salado, look up the Salado Indian maiden. And if I remember when I get home, I'll look it up and post it with this. There's the creek. In the summertime, this gets pretty crowded with people down here. The mermaid used to sit right down here. So they moved it for some reason, I can't remember why. Trees are in bloom, some of them. That's I-35 up there. Runs from Canada to Texas. Or to Mexico, I'm sorry. Canada to Mexico. Yeah. Main Street Salon. I prefer to see Main Street Saloon. Susan Marie's of Salado, Women's Boutique. And little shopping center here, a bunch of little stuff. Art shops, gifts, Thomas Kincaid, Texas Coffee Roasters, gift and gourmet coffee, jellies, jams, salsa, Blanco Gas, Tyler Candies, Art Gallery, Frelup Fine Art Gallery, Salado Historic Site number 13, I'm sorry. Again, I need glasses. I'm glad they're fixing up these old houses instead of tearing them down and putting up some ugly stuff. This is the Orville Thomas Tyler. Right there. 1810 to 1886, pioneer Texan county judge, member of the legislature, president of the board of trustees of Salado College, built in 1857. Salado site, historic site number 22. This is the old Anderson house, entered into the National Register of Historic Places in 1983. Built in 1860 at the edge of an old Indian campground by James B. Anderson, one of the town's founders and a school trustee in Salado. Community leaders, lawyers, and doctors have lived here. Boarding here in 1883 while a student at Old Salado College was James E. Ferguson, 1915 to 1970, governor of Texas and husband of the first woman governor. Under paneling are cedar walls, window glass is hand blown. Oh. They need to take the paneling off and put the cedar boards back out. I like these old houses. And this, if you want more information, again, historic Salado site number 20. I'm assuming this was the carriage house. Nope. Historic landmark built in 1860, used for store, law office, saloon, stage stop, antiques, and art. Historic Salado site 21. Wildflower, market and wine, Mackenzie Lynn Boutique, women's clothing, accessories, gifts, and beverages. The Collective Bar-Tique. Come in, we're open. Okay. And historic Salado historic site 17 would be this house here. The Inn at Salado, bed and breakfast. Right there. 7 North Main. That's the Norton Orgain House. Built about 1872 by Edward R.A. Buckles. So I'll let y'all read that if you want to read it. Just pause the video and you can read it. And is my camera still on? Yeah. So and you can see there's a walkway there going over to this one. And here we got Cowgirls Nails and Spa coming soon. Okay. Cowgirls don't need nails. We got the lively coffee house and bistro. The Pixie Depot. Oh, little shops back through there. Oh, that's the lively coffee house and bistro back there. Okay. The Social 21 Main right there. Parking. And that'd be the Barton House back there. And it was established in 1866. It is now a restaurant. So, Angel's Boutique. A lot of boutiques here. Gypsy Closet. Another one of the old bridges they built. Let's see if this tells about it. The Salado Walk Path Bridge. Okay. This structure is one of 8 remaining lenticular bridges west of the Mississippi River and one of 24 surviving in America. The name for this type of truss is derived from the geometric figure made when the longitudinal upper and lower parabolic chords intersect, forming the shape of a lens. So, that's that. And this be the bridge. And yes, it used to be a bridge where cars could go across, but they deemed it unsafe for that. So, of course, when it was built, there was probably mostly horses going across it. And this is the branch here. You got lights up here. These are all lit up at nighttime. I guess if you wanted to, you could walk down there. I just don't want to. There's an old structure there. They need to redo that. All the years I've lived here, this is probably the second time I've walked through Salado. Good to see the flowers, trees showing some color. Got some yellows, some purples, some pinks over there, and a fence of bicycles. There you go. I think it'd be better if they just kind of painted those bikes a different color so they don't blend in with the fence. And here you have a butterfly seat. See? Let's see here. Oh God! Yeah. How's that look? Okay. Got the butterfly. Okay. I'm done. So, nothing historical over there. Just another fine art gallery. Of course, if it was my art gallery, I'd call it fine art too. And here is something, not sure what. It says Old Church Place. Huh. Okay. There's a piece of art. That looks pretty neat. I like that. Historic Site 29. When Salado College opened its doors in 1860, the Church of Christ began meeting in the chapel, alternating Sundays with the Baptists, Methodists, and Presbyterians. The congregation cooperated with these groups in having a union or non-denominational Sunday school each Sunday. This arrangement continued until 1875 when a small wooden frame building was constructed east of Main Street, several blocks north of Salido Creek. This building was also used as a school building for young first and second grade students. This building is said to have burned in 1908. A second frame building was erected at the site on North Main Street after the first one burned. Around 1943, it was moved across the street to the west. It was remodeled and was used until 1961 as a church. And now you have it. Okay. Okay, so this is the H Norwood Home, part of an old Spanish land grant. Okay. And if you want to read it, I'll let you read it here. I'm not going to read it all to you, or you can look it up on the Historic Salado, and they don't give me a number for this one. So, but, yeah. So there it is if you want to read about it. Just pause the video and read it. Okay. Now, I'm going to go up here. We got the wheelbarrows there with the Easter Bunny and some Easter eggs. See what this one has to say. And this is the Hutchins house. Yeah, see, even back in 1917, you had students messing around with teachers. E.M. Hutchins married Ruby Vickery December 31st, 1917. Prior to their marriage, Hutchins had attended Salado College from 1913 to 1917. At that time, Miss Ruby was head of the piano department. Hutchins had even signed up as a piano student. Later, he entered the journalism department at the University of Texas at Austin, and it was from there he volunteered for the Army in 1917. And this is about the Barton house, which is that house right there. And well-born Barton, 1821, 1880, pioneer physician of the region for many years, a trustee of Salado College, built 1866. John Hendrickson, contractor. Old Military Road and Chisholm Cattle Trail passed here. Okay. This is the mermaid, also the siren of Salado, the magical catfish, a sculptor Troy Kelly. And that's the legend right there, and it's really hard to read. But I will see if I can pull it up on the internet and copy and paste. That be them plants there.